Good morning. Welcome back to the Teen Tiny Hop on YouTube. I'm Candy and I'm going to get started right in here. Today I started using the Modern Web stencil from Brutus Monroe on some Raven cardstock. And I'm going to use some pixie spray to attach it to my slimline panel, which measures 3.5 by 8.5. And I'm going to use a Ranger foam dauber to add some embossing powder. I did not use my anti-static powder tool before this, but I thought that was okay because this is a Halloween card and a little extra Halloween party, Halloween flecks in the little spots will be fine. So when I like to use the embossing powder sometimes, or embossing ink, I usually like to pounce instead of rub. Sometimes I add the ink directly to the stencil so that I get a bunch of ink there, and then I can pick up some of that. And then I kind of twist the dauber around to just kind of get it in and cover it all. So the Team Tiny Hop is for YouTubers who do not have a huge following, so that you can go ahead and find us and subscribe to those if you like, give us a thumbs up, and give us a little bit more notification and exposure on YouTube. So please like our posts, subscribe. It's a hashtag driven app, so it'd be hashtag Team Tiny Hop. I will put that in the description box below. So next I am covering all of my wet sticky ink with the Scowleen embossing powder from Brutus Monroe. I love this embossing powder. It's got a little shimmer, I got a little purple, a little black, and then I am going to go ahead and heat set this, and you will see the fun shine on this. I just use some copy paper because this isn't one I use that often. My more often used embossing powders I have in Tupperware. So we're going to go ahead and heat set. I did speed this video up about 2 times so that you could see this in a little bit faster time. And I'm just love how this heat sets. When I heat set anything, I bring my heat tool and turn it on and kind of lightly touch it around my arm until it gets just a little warm for my skin. You know, don't burn yourself. And you know, as soon as it gets really warm, then I bring it to paper. I do not take a cold embossing gun right to my embossing ink because it can blow it off and not heat set it right away. So it's nice to let it heat up a little bit. You can also just kind of wave it around and for about 30 seconds or so, and then go ahead and start it. So just be very careful so you don't burn yourself. We've got this about done. I'm going to set this aside, and then we're going to start our stamping. I'm using this Hello Sweetum stamp ghost set. I do not have the name for it. I apologize. I have not used this yet, so I wanted to ink it up. And I'm stamping this on some Brutus Monroe Perfect Blend alcohol paper with Raven Detail ink. It's my favorite ink for alcohol marker coloring. And today I'm going to be using Olo and Spectrum Noir markers. And I just colored a few images on camera so that you could, you didn't have to sit and watch me color them all. And then I did the rest off camera. So I am going to do just a little bit. With the tri-blends, it's nice because you have 3 colors right there, a dark, medium, and light. So it chooses your colors for you. Where if you use like Olos or Copics or another alcohol ink, you may have to find inks to blend out. I didn't have a bright green, so that's why I used that Olo marker. I'm not sure exactly which color it was. I think I had it on the screen there. So just did some very, very basic coloring. For the ghost, I used a little bit of light blue. You can also use a light purple or a light gray just because you didn't want it fully white. There's the colors of the Olo markers that I used. It is, I just found it, a YG 2.5 and a YG 2.3. Then I used the ice blue blend, the brown gray blend, the lavender blend, and the citrus blend, I believe. I also used the purple blend briefly, and that's it. And then I used also a blender. Here you see where I'm adding just a little bit of color to the ghosts, and then I'll use a colorless blender and just kind of blend that out a little bit. I will use coordinating dies with some pixie tape to cut these out with my little mini ink blending, or not ink blending, I apologize, my little die cut machine. After I Copic color, I leave my stamps in my MISTI and I stamp them over the top with a pigment ink. This is the VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink. I love that effect because it just gives a little bit extra crisp outline over the top. But this ink is not alcohol friendly, so I do that afterwards. Give it a couple seconds to dry, and then we are going to die cut them out. This little mini die cut machine is from Heavy Doodle. I believe you can get it from the Heavy Doodle website, and I believe scrapbook.com carries it. It's perfect for your desk, and it will fold up. I love it. It sits on my desk all the time. So here I'm just kind of lining them up, using a little pixie tape, like I said, to, hold them in place so they don't move. And we will get them die cut out. Here I'm just putting the magnets or the dies back on a magnet, and I'm pressing my dies into these little hors d'oeuvre cups I got from the dollar store. And then we're going to go ahead and add, did I grab a little bit of, my squeaky clean to clean off my desk. This one's a peach flavored. I get my squeaky clean all from British Monroe. It smells great and cleans things. Next, we're going to trim our panel down to 3.25. So I just trimmed off the edges, and then I wanted to make sure I just left the bottom on. And then we're going to go ahead and add our images. Let's see here. Oh, I also heat set one of the sentiments from the stash or from the stamp set on a white piece of scrap cardstock. I'm going to cut this down. I just line it up with the edge of my trimmer, and I trim that all out. It was also stamped and heat embossed with the same embossing powder. All right, let's put everything together. So first I'm going to use some glue. Well, I tend to lay them out a little bit, but I'm going to use some Barely Art glue to adhere. I have some hats for some of the ghosts. I have a little pumpkin with the hands for the treat box, and I have a piece of candy. So we're going to just kind of start laying them out where I want them, trying to center them. I got my 5 little ghosties. We'll use our Barely Arts glue to go ahead and adhere the hats and the other accessories to all of the ghosts, and then we will put them on our card. I like using liquid glue because of the shininess and the slick of the embossing powder. So I'm going to use that once they're all in place where I like them. And I can kind of wiggle them around a little bit. I'm going to add my sentiment to the left there, and then I will go ahead and put my pin back in my glue bottle, and we will get this on a card base. I'm just going to use some tape runner here. I use pre-cut card bases from Brutus Monroe. These are the slimline cards. They also have mini slim and A2 cards. The slimline ones do not come pre-scored, so I score them and then I add that, leaving that little bit of border. My final card is 3.5 by 8.5. I'm going to use a little bit of that pearl aqua pigment. I'll just put a little bit down, put a little bit of water in it, and then I use a paintbrush to add some sparkle to all my ghosts. And I will try and show that with my phone so you can see all the sparkle on this card. I do appreciate you guys joining me today. I hope you enjoyed my card and will subscribe to my channel and look forward to seeing more videos from me. Leave me a comment. What did you like? Did you learn anything? What would you like to see from me next? Or if there's anything you'd like me to do videos of, and or let me know. Do you make Halloween cards, or do you send Halloween? What's your favorite Halloween movie? Anything. So I love to get to know my viewers, and I appreciate you. Don't forget to check out the hop, #TinyTeamHop. I will have that link in the bottom, and have a great rest of your weekend.